Right now, the average pound of ground beef in this country costs about $6.75. The federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. So, if you're working that wage, 1 pound of hamburger now eats almost your entire hour of work before taxes. And for the leaner stuff, or in a lot of places in this country, beef has already passed it. A full hour of your life doesn't buy a pound of ground beef anymore. Let me show you how we got here, because this number says more than it looks like. Here's the thing. Beef has always been one of those gut check items. It's not a luxury, it's the most normal, basic protein there is. Taco, spaghetti, burger on a weeknight, working people food. So when a pound of the most ordinary meat in America costs about the same as an hour of the lowest legal wage, that's not just a beef story. That's a measuring stick. It's telling you exactly how far an hour of the lowest paid work has fallen behind the basics. And I want to be straight about the number because I checked it. That $6.75 is the government's own figure, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And here's the part that stops you. Ground beef is up about 79% since 2017. 79%. That's crazy. In under a decade. Your paycheck didn't do that. Now you might be thinking, okay, but why beef? Why'd that one go up so hard? And the answer actually makes the whole thing worse, not better. It's not greedflation on a chalkboard. The actual cattle herd in this country shrank to the smallest it's been since the 1960s. Years of drought in the big cattle states dried up the grazing land. Ranchers had to sell off their herds, and here's the kicker, you can't just flip a switch and make more cows. It takes 3 or 4 years to build a herd. So this isn't a blip. The squeeze runs into next year and the year after. But here's what nobody connects. The reason it hits so hard isn't just the price going up. It's that the price went up while the wage at the bottom sat frozen. The federal minimum hasn't moved since 2009. 2009! Beef nearly doubled. The wage didn't move an inch. The gap between those two is the whole story. And it's not just Washington sitting on their hands. This week, voters in Oklahoma had a measure right there on the ballot to raise their state minimum off $7.25, and they turned it down. So that floor isn't just stuck, it's getting actively held in place. And look, most people aren't working dead on minimum wage. I know that, but that's not really the point. The point is the floor. When the legal floor of what you're allowed to pay somebody won't even buy them a pound of hamburger for an hour of their life, that floor is broken. And everything stacked on top of that floor, 10 an hour, 12, 15, it's all sitting on the same cracked foundation. Everyone just got dragged closer to the line. That's why you can be working full-time, doing everything right, and still feel that little jolt at the meat case when you see the sticker. That jolt isn't you being dramatic. That's your gut doing the math your paycheck already knows. So, what do you do with a number like this? Honestly, part of it is just see it clearly. Because the people up top would love for you to think this is about you buying too much steak. First, stop measuring your worth against a grocery bill. You feeling the pinch at the meat counter is not a sign you're failing. It's a sign that the basics outrun the bottom of the pay scale. And that's a system thing, not a you thing. Second, watch the trade down because it's sneaky. When beef gets out of reach, people quietly shift to cheaper protein, smaller packages, less meat. That's not a moral win, that's a pay cut showing up on your dinner plate. Call it what it is. Third, the only real fix at the personal level is the boring one. Push your income up, because you cannot out-coupon a 79% run on the basics. The energy's better spent on the raise or the better paying job than on clipping pennies off a bill that's climbing faster than you can cut. A pound of hamburger for an hour of work. Sit with that one. That's not a number from some far-off country. That's the meat case at your grocery store this week. And it's not because you're bad with money. It's because the most basic food in America quietly priced out an hour of the most basic work. And almost nobody said it out loud. So, if you like the video, I make these for the people who work for a living. No suits, no lectures. If this one hits you, send it to somebody who needs to see it, and I will see you in the next video.